What's up, everybody, and happy quarantine. My name is Charity Gachenge, the owner of a home health care agency here in the state of Maryland called Luxury Home Care. And I'm bringing you this important message because I know that it is going to be transformational to how you're thinking about what's happening right now, and it's going to give you the clarity you need to make sure you stay at home. As you can see, I am filming from my bedroom because that's what I'm doing. I'm staying at home and making home productive. Make sure you like this video, share the video, make sure you tell your family about it. It's really important that this information gets out there, so stay tuned. A ventilator is a machine that takes over the function of your lungs when your lungs are unable to inhale oxygen and release carbon dioxide effectively. People who are on a ventilator are intubated with a tube that goes into their throat and to their windpipes that allows that free flow of air in and out. People who are currently experiencing the coronavirus are having shortness of breath, and doctors have chosen this method and this machine to be able to treat that problem area within the lungs. The ICU today is not what it used to be. The ICU is one of those places where you go and you find the most compassionate people because they have time. You have around-the-clock nurses and doctors who are constantly coming in and checking on you. I mean, multiple doctors will walk that floor just to make sure that they're checking every part of your body to get you back to a stable space and then put you on the floor you're supposed to be in. And whatever issue you're having, those physicians can take over. I was once told during my experience that this is the place you should be. When you're here, you should feel comfort and you should feel safe. People are not getting that same experience today. They're getting people who are like robots and people are afraid to touch them and, just a in and out and wave of people, and that's not really what I experienced. I think it's going to be very beneficial if I can set up the scene for you so that you understand exactly what a person on a ventilator looks like. I had the unfortunate experience of being able to see my mom in the ICU when she was there for about 10 days, and going every single day and watching that was such a painful experience because the person looks dead, but they're not. So on the outside perspective, I didn't know what the heck was happening. And from her perspective, she went to heaven and back like 20 different times. So when I walked into the ICU, my mother had her own room, and these rooms are much smaller. They're not made for you to lay overnight or anything like that, but they have a lot more machines inside of there. And one of those machines was a ventilator. And my mother was laying flat. She had a tube down her throat and the IVs hooked up on her. And what was happening is that the tube in her throat is what was allowing the oxygen to go in and out. And the IVs are what were making her sedated. And anytime she would kind of come out of the sedation, they would give her more to calm her down. The purpose of the medication is so that people don't just wake up and start pulling these things out of their throat out of natural responses. But the crazy part for me was I saw her coming in and out, and I'm over here like, Mom, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And she is like responding to me or not, and I don't even know what she was saying. But it was a very traumatizing and scary experience, and I would go sometimes and my mom, wasn't there, but she was there. Now, I was able to see that experience, so I understand how serious being on a ventilator means and kind of what people are really fighting when they're saying, hey, this person was on a ventilator. After my mom got off the ventilator, she went to rehab for about 21 days because what happens is you're laying on the bed for so long that your muscles start to lose their strength. And it's important for you to go back to learning how to eat, how to walk, how to talk, all these different things that you might have lost while you were there. In addition to that, they had to check her breathing. She would do breathing tests and they would see how her lungs are doing. And it was a very special experience because my mom had the time to be able to heal properly. Now, my mom was not fighting the coronavirus, and people who are fighting this virus have a much more aggressive experience. And every day that you are on the ventilator, it just furthers your complications once you get off of it. And some of the complications are not just physical, it's also mental. It's knowing that a week of your life just disappeared and you were not there. It's that I almost died experience. And in many cases, people feel that way. It's traumatizing, and your family, they don't even know what's happening. They couldn't see you. You had no one there. And just imagine feeling like your last moments, nobody was there to hug you and comfort you as you were experiencing this traumatic time. You know, I had the opportunity to make sure that my mother had great lotion, her lips were not chapped, you know, her hair looked good, and that they were really taking care of her. But loved ones don't get that experience. They just get a phone call when things are not going to go so great, and they tell you bring 2 people and, you know, let's have this conversation and say goodbye. And I really lament for the people who don't really understand how intense a ventilator is, because if you did, you stay home. You wouldn't waste your time putting yourself through that or putting someone else you love through that. Now, what I can definitely say is that the future of healthcare is absolutely positively going to change. The way people interact and the compassion that they give and how they relate to people in their time of need is also going to change. Now, I am not sure if the world is prepared for that, if we know how challenging these next couple of months are going to be. So I just really think it's an important time for all of you all to consider how bored you really are. It's important for you to have conversations that are challenging. It's important for you to think outside the box, and it's important for you to take a moment, a really, really long moment, because we're going to be in this thing for a couple of months, but take this moment to rebuild your life and the structure of your family, and think about what health and wealth look like to you. Think about what are the cost benefit analysis to you not staying home, and what the loved ones you will leave behind if you choose to expose yourself and have an unfortunate end. It's important to raise the stakes. And if scaring you keeps you home, raise the stakes. If scaring you keeps you safe, raise the stakes. Whatever's necessary. All right, that's it. I'm signing out. There's a lot happening in the background. That's part of the quarantine experience. Just make sure you stay home, stay healthy, and stay happy. Thank you so much. Bye.